Hey, what's up, guys? Got another movie review for you. I was gonna talk about either like Hellboy or Sergio Leone's for a few dollars more, but nope. We're gonna talk about a movie you probably never heard of, actually, because I never heard of it. I don't know it was even a thing. I know there's Western horror movies. By Western, I mean like the West, like America, all that stuff. Um, Folk horror movies, like folklore myths, all that stuff. So this one just came out not too long ago from Severin Films, which is an awesome company. They do a lot of like horror exploitation kind of stuff, and they're really cool. Eyes of Fire. Check that out. That's a cool little graphic there. They have another, I guess, like the old cover underneath this one. I guess was commissioned for this. But yeah, look at that. Look at those eyes. So, what's going on with this movie? All right. So, if you ever seen that movie, The Witch, where the family kind of gets like casted out from the community, and witch kind of like stalks them and like terrorizes their life. That's a lot like this. Now, obviously, this one came out first, so who borrowed from who there? The director was this Avery Kronos, I want to say. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. So this movie is basically this family. The leader of this family is like a preacher, where he's like such as a whole family. It's like a group of followers, pretty much. The guy's a preacher, but he's like adultery like all over the place, like messing around with women and stuff. A married woman at that, um, and he kind of gets casted out. And one of the young ladies with his entourage, is a witch, and she's like not even trying to hide it. Like I think they all know she's a witch, and they just kind of like accept it. So long story short, they get casted out of their community. And by the way, this all takes place like 1750, so pre formation of the United States. Like we're almost there, but not quite. Colonial times. So they get casted out, and they're just on this long journey, and just like it's bad luck everywhere they go. So it's like a boat journey, and they're getting attacked by Indians, hunters, this and that, and they eventually settle on a little plot of land. It's like in the middle of nowhere. It's like forest all over the place, but it's cursed, and not just from Native Americans, but just like what seems to be like pagan stuff, like old world European folklore kind of subplanted in the Americas, and especially here, and kind of torments his family, and they're all trying to like figure out like they're all trying to like point the finger. Oh, this lady's a witch. She's clearly, but she's only like half the problem. In fact, she bailed them out a lot of the times, you know, which is kind of an interesting role. This woman that's with them, who's like I said, clearly a witch and does nothing to hide it, saves their behinds a lot, you know. Um, but yeah, this preacher's like just like the worst preacher you could think of. I can tell he's fooling around with a married woman, just crazy talk, like most preachers are. And yeah, it's just it's interesting, and the visuals are nuts. So it's kind of has like that bad acid trip kind of vibe. The colors are very bright. Um, it goes from like weird, strange color tones. Actually, something I would suspect like an Italian giallo would do. Actually, like a Dario Argento movie, but they take it to the extreme, obviously. Um, like I said, I don't think this movie got that much attention because, like I said, it was first. The reason what drew me to it was because I don't. I mean, aside from The Witch, I don't necessarily follow folklore Western horror films. I didn't even know, like I said, I knew it existed, but I didn't know about it or anything. And this movie um, was surprisingly good. It has a few moments that kind of drag, but other than that, like I said, it's great. It's very it's full of dread. It's like there's no like relief, kind of like something's going on. The ending was kind of cool. I'll admit that. I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but so yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, the special effects were done in camera, so like I said, you had a lot of different color techniques. You had like look like ground witches, I call them. They just like this lady who I guess is a witch or a demon just comes out of the ground. I don't even know. It could have been a guy. I don't know, but it's like a fully cloaked costume with like a you know wench witchy kind of face, and it just like this whole. It's like I said, it's like a bad dream. Put it that way. Like once his family gets on this little plot of land and they try to make something out of nothing, they get tormented. Like I said, there's a lot of finger pointing because they don't understand. They're just like they just get casted out of their village, so now they're looking to start over again, and it's just like all downhill after that. Hallucinations. The trees have faces on them. There's just one scene where this lady's like digging, I guess to start like farmland or whatever, and there's like a face in the ground. Then she looks back, it's not there. So there's a lot of psychological, a lot of dark elements that surround this movie. Like I said, there's some talky scenes, some scenes. Like I said, it's very visual. It's like I believe the director of photography of this movie was actually a photographer, so a lot of the elements you see look like still pictures. Not so much dialogue, but I mean, it's still moving. It's a movie, but like imagine, taking a picture and there be some kind of movement to it, but it still has that still life quality to it. That's what this is. For a movie, it was for me anyway relatively unheard of. I liked what I seen. I think it was released in 1984. So, like I said, this is like the rise of the slasher films. So for this director doing something like this that was drastically different, because I don't remember any folk horror movies that stood out to me. Like I said, The Witch that came out, but that's really about it. Yeah, The Witch is obviously recent, but like in the '80s, I don't remember any. Maybe there was. I don't know. I know there was like those, preacher backwood kind of movies, but nothing like this. Nothing that takes place in this time period. Not that I know of. I'm sure there is, but like I said, it didn't really stand out to me. But this movie, like I said, I appreciate it for being unique, to telling a part of American history that we don't normally see that much. The darker side of it, actually, like the grounds being haunted, whether from like a murdered Native American tribe, or the original settlers that were there, and then they died, and their spirits still haunt the forest, kind of deal. We get a lot of that. Like I said, it's a very visual movie. Uh, the effects, like I said, it's not crazy gory or whatever, but it's like it said, it works. It definitely works in that aspect, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's the greatest movie in the world, but for being relatively unknown to me and probably to a lot of people, I'm glad Severin Films decided to release it. It's cool. And it's not just like a bare bones thing. We got a commentary here, by an author who actually specializes in American folklore. Interviews. There's an alternative cut to this movie, a longer version called Crying Blue Sky. It's an awesome title. And a few short films too. So yeah, do I recommend watching it? If you want to see something new, like if you're a fan of like '80s horror films and you just want to kind of step out of the same old slasher or sci-fi horror territory, then definitely check this out. Eyes of Fire. There's the box. Like I said, it's been out for a while, so I'm sure you could probably stream this anywhere. And if you really like it, I don't know, buy it, But yeah, that's really all I gotta say about it. Like I said, it definitely kept my attention. It was just really strange. Like, I felt like this would have been a movie, someone like, David Lynch or David Cronenberg would have done. It's kind of out there, in a horror movie sense. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Eyes of Fire. Check it out. And I don't know. Let me know what you think about it. All right. Thanks for listening, and see you all very soon. Peace.